Today I'm making peanut butter bonbons. Now this is my family and my husband's favorite dessert. So I'm making a really large batch of it. So I'm going to read you off the normal recipe. Don't be worried if mine's a lot more than yours because I'm just making a really huge batch. So the first thing you're going to do is take a pot, as you can see, and you're going to put in it 2 cups of peanut butter and a half a cup of butter, and we're just going to melt it on the stove top. So once your peanut butter and butter are melted, you're going to take it off on the hot burner, and you are going to add in Rice Krispie squares. You're going to add in Rice Krispies and icing sugar. Now normally I eyeball it. I actually don't know the exact number. I just know that the texture that I need and the taste that I want. So I'm going to add it slowly to my, it's almost melted here. Once it's melted, I'm going to add it to it, and I'm going to record the exact amounts, and then I'll have an idea of what to tell you to put into it. All right, so I think what you need to do is add in 2 cups of Rice Krispie squares and 2.5 cups of icing sugar. Now this is what you want it to look like. It's going to be thick and solid, and you want it to be, like for the icing sugar, you want it to be sweet enough, like really to taste. That's why it's individual. Like if you end up eyeballing it yourself, then it's still going to taste good because you're going to put the amount of icing sugar that you want in for the sweetness that you want. When it comes to the Rice Krispie squares, we're going to be making these into balls. So you just need to have enough Rice Krispie squares in there to make it thick and so you can actually roll them into balls. So for your batch, I believe that if you put in 2 cups of Rice Krispie squares and 2 cups of Rice Krispie squares and 2.5 cups of icing sugar. There should always be more icing sugar than Rice Krispie squares, or Rice Krispies. I keep calling them Rice Krispie squares. So if you put more icing sugar in than Rice Krispies, it should be fine. So next what we're going to do is roll them into balls. And how I do this is, like, I leave it in the pot, and then I wet my hands with water, and then I start to roll them. I find that that helps them not stick to my hands. And you can see here how some of these are shiny. These are the ones that I probably rolled first with water, and then you can see these ones have lots more peanut butter sticking up from them, a little more messy looking. Those ones were probably the last ones that I did that before I needed to put more water on my hands. And I tend to be able to do 4 or 5 of these, and then I have to re-wet my hands. And some people put butter maybe on their hands, but I'm like, that's a lot of butter, and that's a lot of more mess, where I find I just do it, my hands are gunky, I quickly go to the sink, I put them under some water, and I come back and I don't have to clean them off. So yeah, so what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put them in my fridge, and if I have room, in my freezer, and just get them cold, because we're going to put some chocolate on top after, and the chocolate stays on better if they're nice and cold. So, and then I'm going to keep going because I have a lot more to do. Okay, so as they're all getting cold, you'll want to bring out the wax paper again and line your countertop and melt about 1 pack of milk chocolate, yummy, and about 1 teaspoon of shortening. So you're going to melt that on low, or between medium and low, and just melt them up. Once it's melted, just put it on minimum, and because you want to keep your chocolate warm, and stir it from time to time. Now I'll start with the bonbons that I have already in the freezer to give the ones in the fridge longer time to cool. And so you can see here, I just dip them in chocolate. So I literally, well, normally I'm holding the camera so I can't, but I'd hold the tray with one hand and I would dip with the other. And I don't let too much chocolate run off, because it's okay for it to run on the side. You can see because it's cold, it hardens on really nicely, and you don't waste it on the wax paper. It stays on the actual bonbon. So you're just going to keep doing that for every single one of them. Alright, here they are, all dipped. Now you'll get about half of this in your in your batch. And one more thing, you can see here I did lots of different sizes. I did like large, medium, and then small to tiny. And I just do that because my husband likes them a lot, so he's larger. And then the medium ones are better for when you're making up a tin of goodies to give to people. And then the tiny ones are for children, or for people who, like me, don't want to gain too much weight during Christmas, but still want to have a little taste. So there you are. You just let them set now. It doesn't take very long. Like these ones I started with are almost done. And then they're ready to go in your container or your freezer, whatever you like. They're good to go. So I hope you like them. These definitely are a lot messier to make than most other recipes, but they are well worth it. Hope you like them.